Hi, welcome to Myers ASMR. Thanks for being here. I've been waiting for you, and I'm so glad to see you. So today we're going to pick up with the art of being and becoming. But first, I've got to taste my breakfast smoothie. It's got a lot of goodness in it. It gets its color from cocoa powder and carob powder. I also added coffee and peanut butter and sea moss gel, honey, whey powder, some Brazil nuts and almonds, and a little bit of turmeric, cinnamon, flax seeds, chia seeds, avocado, yes, coconut milk, soy milk, fermented milk called kefir, which I ferment myself. And a little oatmeal. I don't play. Because this whole thing, I see it as a meal. I might as well take my vitamins while I'm at it. I've got marine collagen peptides and CoQ10. You know, I do feel like my skin and my hair has improved since I've been taking collagen. I probably see it in my nails too if I allowed them to grow. But there was a time when I did allow them to grow and they got long and strong, like fairly quickly. So that was impressive. Hey, don't believe me. I'll be 51 this year. I also listen to David Sinclair's YouTube videos. He's a genetic scientist who studies longevity. And he is older than I am, and he looks like he's in his 30s. I mean, what an amazing educator he is. Alrighty. Well, let's see where we picked off with the art of being and becoming. I love these positive stories. So, we're on the chapter called Man, the Seed of God. Excuse me. This idea again explains to us why it is said that man was created in God's image when the whole of manifestation, the whole of creation has come from God. The leaf, the branch, and the stem have all come out of the seed, but they are the image of the seed. The image of the seed is the seed itself. Not only this, the essence of the seed is in the seed. Of course, there is some energy, some power, some color, some fragrance in the flower, in the leaves, and in the stem, but at the same time, all the properties that belong to the stem, flower, petals, and leaves are to be found in the seed. This shows us that man is the culmination of the whole of creation and that in him the whole universe is manifested. The mineral kingdom, the vegetable kingdom, and the animal kingdom are to be found in the being, in the spirit of man. This not only means that the different properties such as mineral and vegetable are to be found in the physical body that is made for man, but his mind and his heart also show all the different qualities. The heart is like either a fertile soil or a barren desert. It shows love or lack of love, the productive faculty or destructiveness. There are different kinds of stones. There are precious stones and there are pebbles and rocks. But among human hearts, there is a still greater variety. Think of those whose thoughts and feelings have proved to be more precious than anything that the world can offer. The poets, the artists, the inventors, the thinkers, the philosophers, the servants of humanity, the inspirers of man, the benefactors of mankind. No wealth, no precious stone, whether diamond or ruby, can be compared with these, and yet it has the same quality. Then there are rock-like hearts. One may knock against them and break oneself, and still they will not move. The heart has a wax-like quality, or it has the quality of the stone. There are melting hearts, and there are hearts that will never melt. Is there anything in nature that is not found in man? Is there not in his feeling and his thoughts and his qualities the aspect of running water, of a fertile soil and of fruitful trees? Is there not in the heart of man the image of the plant and of fragrant flowers? But the flowers that come from the human heart live longer. Their fragrance will spread through the whole world, and their color will be seen by all people. How delicious are the fruits that human hearts can bear. They immortalize souls and lift them up. There are, on the other hand, mentalities in which nothing springs up except the desire to hurt and harm their fellow men, producing poison through their fruits and flowers, hurting others by thought, speech, or action, and they can hurt more than thorns. There are some whose feelings and thoughts are like gold and silver, and there are others whose thoughts are just like iron and steel. The variety that one can see in human nature is so vast that all the objects that one can obtain from this earth cannot equal it. Man not only shows in his nature, in his qualities, in his body, in his thought and feeling, the heritage of this earth, but also that of heaven. Man is subjected to the influence of the planets, of the sun, of the moon, of heat and cold, of air and water and fire, and of all the different elements of which this whole cosmic system is composed. All these elements are to be found in his thoughts, in his feelings, in his body. One can find a person with warmth representing fire, another person who is cold represents water. There are human beings who in their thought and feeling represent the air element. Their quickness, their restlessness show the air element in them. Does not man represent the sun and moon in his positive and negative character? Does not duality of sex show this? In every man and in every woman there are both the sun quality and the moon quality. And it is these two opposite qualities that give balance to the character. When one quality is predominant and the other is completely missing, then there is a lack of balance somewhere. If one pursues the thought of mysticism still further, one finds that not only is all visible manifestation present in man, but also all that is invisible. If the angels, fairies, ghosts, elementals, or any other of man's imaginings can be found anywhere, it is in human nature. Angels at all times have been pictured in the image of man. If all that exists in the world and in heaven is to be found in man, then what remains? God himself has said in the scriptures that he made man in his own image. In other words, if you wish to see me, I am to be found in man. How thoughtless it is then on the part of man when, absorbed in his high ideals, he begins to condemn man, to look down upon man. However low and weak and sinful a man may be, there is yet the possibility of his rising higher than anything else in the whole of manifestation. Whether on earth or in heaven, nothing else can reach the height that man is destined to reach. Therefore, the point of view of the mystics and thinkers of all ages has always been reflected in their manner, which was a respectful attitude to all men. In the example of the life of Jesus Christ, one can see what compassion, what forgiveness, what tolerance, what understanding the Master showed when a sinner was brought before him. A man who shows contempt toward his fellow men may be called religious or pious, but he can never be called truly spiritual or wise, whatever be his condition. The man who has no respect for mankind has no attitude of worship towards God. The one who has not recognized the image of God in man has not seen the artist who made this creation. He has deprived himself of that vision which is most sacred and most holy. A person who thinks that man is earthly does not know where his soul comes from. The soul comes from above. It is in the soul of man that God is reflected. A man who feels hatred and contempt, whatever his belief, faith, or religion, has not understood the secret of all religions, which is in the heart of man. And certainly, however good, however virtuous a person may be, however tolerant or forgiving, if at the same time he does not recognize God in man, he has not touched religion. There is, however, another side to the question. As man evolves, so he finds the limitations, the errors, and the infirmities of human nature. And so it becomes difficult for him to live in the world and to face all that comes. Also, it becomes very difficult for man to be fine, to be good and kind and sensitive, and yet at the same time to be tolerant. The tendency comes to push everything away and to keep oneself away from everybody else. But the purpose of being born on earth is not that. It is to find that perfection which is within oneself. However good and kind a man may be, if he has not found the purpose for which he was born on earth, he has not fulfilled the object of life. There are as many different aspects of that purpose as there are people in the world. But behind all of them, there is one purpose, which may be called the purpose of the whole creation. That purpose is accomplished when the architect builds a house that he has designed, and he enters it and sees how well it is made. That purpose is accomplished when a play is produced and the producer watches it. That is the fulfillment of his purpose. Every man seems to have his own purpose, but all these purposes are nothing but steps to the one and only purpose, that is the purpose of God. If our small desires are granted today, tomorrow there is another wish, and whatever be the desire, when it is granted, there is next day another desire. This shows that the whole of humanity is directed towards one desire, the desire that is God's object. The fuller experience of life within and without, the fuller knowledge of life above and below. It is the widening of the outlook, that it may become so wide that in the soul, which is vaster than the world, all may be reflected, that the sight may become so keen that it may probe the depths of the earth and the highest of the heavens. In this lies the fulfillment of the soul, and the soul, who will not make every possible effort and every sacrifice for its attainment, has not understood religion. What is this message? It is the esoteric training, practicing and working throughout life towards that attainment, which is the fulfillment of the purpose of God. I used 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and it still feels like it tastes like it's not enough to me. I just love chocolate. I can taste the protein powder. It tastes good. Chapter 21. The privilege of being human. Character is, so to speak, a picture with lines and colors that we make within ourselves. It is wonderful to see how the tendency of character building already springs up in childhood, just as one sees in a bird the instinct of building a nest. A child begins by noticing all kinds of things in grown-up people, and then it adopts whatever it likes most and whatever attracts it. By this, we understand that when a person is absorbed in himself, he has no time for character building, for he has no time to think of others. For instance, if even the greatest actors do not forget themselves on the stage, they cannot act. The musician, if he cannot forget himself while playing, cannot play well. As with everything else, the whole task of building oneself depends entirely on forgetting oneself. This is the key to the whole of life. I have met people distinguished in art, science, philosophy, religion, and all fields, and found that they had all reached greatness by means of this quality, the quality of forgetting themselves. And again, I have seen people with great qualities who could not bring out the best in their lives because they did not possess this one quality. Well, that completes today's story time. Hey, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to help me out, feel free to donate to my Cash App. Like and subscribe. Catch me in the next video, and may you find lasting happiness. Bye.